Welcome to Monday. It's November 25th, 2024. This Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Converse County Tourism. Douglas and Glen Rock, Wyoming are bustling with action this holiday season. Plan your excursion, including fun activities, beautiful downtowns, and historic treasures. Learn more at conversecountytourism.com. Well, what we'll do with today's podcast is kind of focus in on the travel weather conditions across the West and parts of the U.S. as we go ahead and take a look at the week ahead. I think that'll be everyone's main concern weather-wise. As we look at the weather, today we're in between systems. Some of you had a little bit of winter yesterday with that small little wave coming on through. Certainly some colder temperatures and a bit of snow here and there. But today we're in between systems, so we're going to have a good day, relatively speaking, for travel, if you can sneak out today. However, the remains of that big Pacific storm, what's left of it, it did break into pieces. The bigger piece is going to be coming off the West Coast, through the region starting tomorrow and lasting through Wednesday. Then behind that wave, we are going to be looking at some very cold air settling on in. So we're going to have some icy roads, highways, and especially the mountain passes here over the next 72 hours. Much colder air pours in behind this system for a lot of the U.S., as we get into Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, through the Thanksgiving weekend. Although the trajectory of the coldest of cold is likely going to stay just east of the Rockies. We're going to be on the western edge of it, but we'll show you where the real cold is going to settle in this Thanksgiving week. First of all, got some amazing videos and photos. I got a ton of pictures in over the weekend. I couldn't get them all in today, so there'll be more pictures coming tomorrow. But look at this time lapse from November 23rd from Cheyenne, Wyoming, from Jan Curtis of the sunrise. Just an amazing, like the sky's on fire there, of all those colors coming on in. Check out Jan's photos at Flickr at Northern Nights for even more just amazing photos. Then you can see the snow continuing to pile up in Colorado's mountains. They got a bit more over the weekend, and there's more snow coming to the Colorado high country with this next wave for sure. And also we're still getting a lot of those lenticular clouds. Great shot out of South Park, Colorado, those lenticular clouds this past weekend. The satellite loop this morning still shows, it's amazing. This circulation has been off the Pacific coast for days and days and days. It's not as well defined, but you can see the counterclockwise rotation right there. But look at this right here. This is the moisture coming in around this upper level trough that's going to be brought into California. Then the trajectory of this moisture goes just like this over the next 24 to 72 hours. So this storm is just a mere shadow of what it was. It's not nearly as intense, but it's going to draw in that Pacific moisture and bring cold air aloft into the region. This is the water vapor loop showing that moisture even better and that counterclockwise circulation. So this is what's going to get pushed inland later today, into tomorrow, and into Wednesday. And we'll show you that trajectory of the moisture here in a minute. So this is the precipitable water as of early this morning. So you can see all the dark green and all that blue there, showing that deep Pacific moisture getting pushed into the region. The brown here is the dry air that came back behind the wave that came through yesterday. And now we await the next moisture plume coming on in. So at the 500 millibar chart, you can see the remains of the low off the coast of Washington. You can see yesterday's wave heading into the upper Midwest and into the northern plains and south central Canada. This system right here will take a track a little further south and go basically hook up between Interstate 80 and Interstate 70. Hence, that's where we're going to have our travel headaches, Interstate 80 and Interstate 70 here in the West as we get into this Thanksgiving travel period. So this is today at noon. This is by 5 p.m. tomorrow. So you can see it weakens even more, but it's going to take that Pacific moisture and push it right into the Rockies. And as that low comes across, the door to colder Canadian air will come in. So let's now take a look at how the precipitation evolves over time, beginning today and going through early Thursday. So what we want to watch here is look for the darker, brighter colors, the darker greens, and then the yellows, the blues, and the oranges. And notice when you put this all together, you can see the moisture comes up out of California, and there's an axis right here of the deeper moisture, right like this. Along that line there, north and south of that line, and underneath it is where the heavier moisture is going to fall. So that's why we were talking about Interstate 70 and Interstate 80. So first of all, for Interstate 80, across California, across northern Nevada and Utah, then across southern Wyoming. Now notice it's not really heavy precipitation, but it's going to be enough to make roads and highways icy. Then take a look at Interstate 70 from the Colorado Plains through the high country, through Grand Junction, and then here into parts of Utah. That area there, both of those major interstates will be most impacted. And then secondary highways and secondary interstates coming down across the Wasatch Front. And then, of course, when you take a look at the mountain passes of the region, from the mountain passes of western Wyoming through Utah, Nevada, California, then into Colorado. This is where you're going to have the biggest problems between tomorrow and late Wednesday night. By Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, all of this moves out. We're going to see impacts as early as tomorrow, because if you look at the timestamp up here, you're going to notice the snow is going to be beginning to fall in Nevada, Utah, and during the morning hours, snow will be falling along Interstate 80 in southwestern Wyoming and northern Utah tomorrow, and along Interstate 70 in Colorado by Tuesday morning. The peak will be Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, into the morning hours of Wednesday. So let's put it together now with, that's the precipitation. Let's take it and convert it to what it would like in snow. So this is the total snowfall between now and Thanksgiving morning. So you can see the mountain ranges are going to be impacted the most, the I-80 corridor, I-15, and then Interstate 70. So the net is travel weather today. Don't see any really significant problems. Snow will begin to fall in California, Nevada, Utah, and the western slope of Colorado by tomorrow morning. Then as the moisture deepens and heads east, snow will increase in Colorado, the I-80 corridor, southern Wyoming, and eastern Utah right here, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, through mid to late day on Wednesday. We'll see some lighter snows spread out across the Dakotas, the upper Midwest, east of the Divide, just lighter amounts of snow showers and flurries in that colder air. But the deeper purple, darker colors there is where you're going to have the biggest travel headaches, especially from late tomorrow morning through late Wednesday. Travel weather as we get into Thursday and Friday will be better. It's going to be much colder, but we will see some improvement. So if we took a look at the nation as a whole in southern Canada, this is through Thursday morning. So where you see the blue, the light grays, then the pink and the purple colors is where the snow concerns are going to be the highest. So you can see across parts of the Great Lakes and Northeast through Thursday morning, that's where you're going to have some winter weather. So you want to look at this map and see kind of where you might be flying through or driving through some winter weather between now and Thanksgiving morning. Now this stops Thanksgiving morning. So what we'll do is we'll take a look now at the second period. This is from Friday through Sunday. So Friday through Sunday, we're going to see very cold Canadian air come in on the backside of the system. That's why we're going to get these light snows in Montana, the Dakotas, then into the Great Lakes. Lake effect snows are going to kick in. Arctic air is going to cause a lot of snow in the Great Lakes region. It's the lake effect snow here. So you can see, though, it could reach some of the Northeast airports and some airports in the Midwest of the cold. Also, there will probably be a bit more in the way of snow shower activity in the Rockies on the backside of the system, especially Friday night and Saturday. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But essentially, the West, as we get into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, into Sunday, looks much better. This part of the nation right here will have more in the way of wintry weather. We do need to watch out for mountain snow showers, though. These are the temperatures by Thanksgiving Day, Thursday. Look at the deep purple there in Canada, creeping into North Dakota. The green and the blue showing that temperature deviation below average temperatures will be found over most of the nation for Thanksgiving Day. And then when we take a look at where we are in Thanksgiving Day with the jet stream, if you remember last week, I talked about that high in the Eastern Pacific, and when the high is there, we go into the fridge, and that's exactly what I just showed you right there. The colder air comes into the nation. But what's going to happen is we're going to see this low here and this low here merge. That's going to cut off the top of this high pressure ridge right here and then cause the flow to go more straight this way. What that's going to do is deflect the coldest of the cold into the northern plains, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. That's where the really cold weather on Thanksgiving there gets directed more to the east, because right there you can see the lows merging. That cuts off the high pressure ridge, so the trajectory of the cold goes more east. So the coldest of the cold, Thanksgiving weekend, will be focused in the north central, the Great Lakes, and the northeast parts of the U.S. and southern Canada. It's going to get really cold there. It'll be plenty chilly in the Rockies as well, with northwest flow, but the deeper cold will be more directed there. So these are the temperature anomalies going through the Thanksgiving weekend. That's Friday, that's Saturday, and that's Sunday. So you can see really the coldest of the cold is along and east of this line. The deepest of the cold will go into that part of the nation there. So the U.S. is really going to get very cold, but it's going to be more directed from the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and the Great Lakes in the Northeast. And those lake effect snows in the Great Lakes will really be kicking in and will probably be making headlines this Thanksgiving weekend. We'll have more for you tomorrow. Have yourself a good Monday.